Hello friends, this is Darkscream, and today we're going to talk about one of the best Jeremy Fiesel-esque secrets in World of Warcraft that I've ever had the pleasure of completing. On the opening day of patch 10.15, I didn't hop into the time rifts or the new dungeon. I joined in with the secret finding Discord community and dug into the search for all the old vanilla and recipes and stuff being added to the game again. Before we start, I just want to say thank you to whatever devs worked on this. What Blizzard did here is actually so crazy. It's way more involved than it was done for Zul'Gurub, and it was way more fun. It's clear they had a great respect for these old zones, the gameplay, the lore, and the Easter eggs even. I never would have imagined that this would be so involved, yet so satisfying. I can honestly say it was, altogether, a masterpiece of content. I recommend it even if you aren't going to be crafting stuff. There's other rewards, and there's secrets within secrets within secrets. This video will be a guide to the lengthy unlock process for those recipes and locations, and so much more. It'll be in a bit of a different style as this was recorded as things were still being discovered, so come join me on this secret finding adventure. This time we're going to take a look at the new Naxxramas stuff that's been restored to the game. Now, I'm recording this on patch day where the secrets of how to unlock it are not even fully known yet. So I'm just going to go step by step with what's been discovered and hopefully discover some stuff myself. Now, I'm in Legion Dalaran because I'm a paladin, which means I can get to the Eastern Plaguelands really quickly, and that'll be our first location. Much like in the past, our first location will be the School of Necromancy, Scholomance. We'll be entering the instance on Heroic, and we're gonna go kill, we're looking for a rare spawn, which is interesting. Might have to do this on a few characters. So here's the tricky part. The rare that we want only spawns after you kill Rattlegore. So you can't know if you have the rare in your instance or not. It's also a heroic lockout, meaning you only get to do this once a day per character. So we might be marching the alt army through here quite a bit, similar to Zul'Gurub. Now, if you're lucky, you might already have what we're looking for. We actually need this toy from Dr. Theolin Krastenov, who, back in vanilla, was the actual boss of this instance. Now he's just a sneaky rare. If we're lucky, we're going to kill Rattlegore, and we'll see an emote in the chat. We'll hear an emote in the game that he's spawned. Here we go. He did not spawn. Another shortcut. If you're a druid, you can of course just go to the Emerald Dreamway and then head out to the Hinterlands. That's another quick shortcut to Scholomance. And here we go again. No luck. We hearth out. We try again. Alright, here we go again. This time on the Evoker, playing Augmentation, maybe playing the different spec will trick the rare into spawning. Hit him with Upheaval. It did not spawn. And if you're a Horde mage, you probably have the easiest time. You can just teleport to Undercity, and then you're basically right there. Alright, surely this is the time.
The doctor is in.
Yes, it is. Okay. So we need a toy that drops from him, but it's apparently not 100% drop. So, we'll see.
Donate my body to science.
There it is. So now that we have this toy, we can use it to start activating the secret. But not on this character. I'd rather do it on my paladin. But in my farming I hit the instance lockout. Oh man, so I'll have to wait a minute. Totally random aside, but it looks like they haven't totally nerfed the raw gold values here on heroic. I mean, this is Pandaria era content, so it's not super valuable, but it's not bad. Worth right-clicking on any mobs you kill.
If you haven't come to study, I'll use you to teach a lesson.
So we're going to use Dark Master Gandling to teach ourselves a lesson instead.
School is in session.
So far, we've only really talked about things you could get in the game before the patch, right?
The doctor is in.
There we go. So as you saw, I had to poke around to get it to work. But you activate the toy after killing Gandling, return to the southern room upstairs, and walking near the bone pile to the east will spawn Eva Sarkoff. Note this spot, we'll come back later. So let's see what she has to say. So I can't interact with her, but like, maybe if I click off the buff? Wait, you aren't the butcher. Has the cycle of torment finally come to an end? Please come speak with me. Time and time again, I am forced to relive the memory of the butcher. I do not understand why you appeared in his visage, but I am grateful the cycle's been broken, even if it is just this once. I fear our time is short, so I must be brief. I stashed my journal away where I thought it would never be found. If there is even the slightest chance that it has not been destroyed, it is paramount that you locate it. Why? What's in your journal, Eva? I remember you from Vanilla. I began to keep detailed records of what happened here. Some of the atrocities were far, far worse than the words I chose to describe them. The world needs to know, so nothing like it ever happens again. And yet, there is still so much left unsaid. So much I couldn't bear to write. Eva hesitates for a moment before regaining her composure. Find my journal, Pauper. Find it and gather 5 candles of Care Duro. Bring them and something else that once belonged to me to a quiet place upstairs. Set up a site to prepare for a ritual. The rest will come to you naturally if you allow it. Understood. I'm gonna look for the stuff. So at this point, they would give you something like this. I don't know that I have to do this. I think I might get to skip this part because I've kept my Spectral Essence from back in the day. Yeah, so she didn't give me anything. At this point you'd receive the new Spectral Essence thing, but if you happen to have kept an old one back in the day in your bank like I did, pretty sure to bring it with you in your bags. And now Eva Sarkoff is outside the instance for us, and other characters on your account can get the thing from her too. It's kind of like an account-wide checkpoint. Now the recording gets a bit choppy here, but I thought it might be cool to show what happens when you equip the Spectral Essence. As you can see, all these NPCs start appearing. It's another lovely day on the beautiful island of Care Duro. So we get the secret NPCs you can only see if you have this buff from the trinket you get from this hidden questline I've just shown, or you have an old Spectral Essence left over from the old days. And so began the search for Eva's journal and the 5 candles, or at least the items we'll trade to get the candles. And speaking of the vendors, there's a bit of a minigame here, so we have to find these different items and we can trade them in for candles, and once we get all the candles, we'll be ready to proceed to the next step. So The first item you want is right in town at the town fountain on the island. Click the bucket of fountain water to get the Care Duro fountain water, as we see here. Yeah. So I've just located the bucket of water, but I don't have the doll, which is what Sammy the ghost is asking for. The next item we need is located in Anderhall, another place of storied history in the Plaguelands. We're going to go inside the town hall at the center of town near Araj the Summoner. You'll find it after you come in the door. You don't have to kill Rattlegore, but it'll be on the wall here, the deed to Anderhall. Carries a faded seal. Next up, we're headed to Darrowshire. You may remember this area. It's one of those quests where you had to do waves of enemies. And way back in the day, it was used for some of the legendary weapons as well. Here, we're looking for the doll near the meat wagon. Right here, the trampled doll. Next, we're at Corn's Crossing. We want to go on the inn. And there should be a cookbook behind the bar, I believe. Oh, no, it's this painting here. I'm going to grab the painting, The Road Ahead. A gorgeous painting on the road leading out of Corn's Crossing. The signature Renfrey is carefully inscribed on the corner. Whoever made these items knows the lore. This is really good. And we just got a dark rune. So, something to keep in mind. I mentioned it's probably worth it to loot. They're over 100 gold on the auction house now, and the secrets haven't been fully unlocked yet. Once they are and these start getting consumed, I think we'll see a higher price on those. Our next point of interest is actually Stratholme itself. We're going to go into the dungeon here, and we're going to clear up to the tobacco shop, and there's an item there that we need. Now, I mentioned we're going to clear. It's actually worth killing these guys and looting them, because we're trying to get the recipes, and these guys drop some of the materials, the essence of undeath. I don't know if I'll full clear the dungeon while I'm here. Don't know if I feel like doing that right now, but it's still worth at least.
Need to get closer.
We'll have a lot of garbage to clean up, but it's at least worth tagging and looting them. I do have my speed set on. You know, Paladin's not the fastest, but 22% speed's not bad. So, Ezra Grimm's Premium Tobacco Shop. And we can fast forward through my meager attempt to search to show you it's in this wagon here. So you're actually looking for this busted wagon here, and you have to look at it. You wouldn't see it from this side, you have to turn around to see it. An undelivered shipment of smokes. A crate of the finest cigars Ezra Grimm had to offer. Nice. Next, we return to the Isle of Care Duro. Have you ever had a spare moment to admire the wonderful paintings across Lordaeron, human? The Fordrings were always eager for another canvas to liven up their halls. If only I had kept one for myself. Good news. The most impressive detail of the imported candle is that somehow someone managed to fully carve Corn's Crossing on the bottom. That is impressive. Alright, we got ourselves an imported candle from artist Renfrey over here on the west side. Next, we have another one over here at the docks, Mr. Rory. They don't realize they're dead, human. They're cursed to relive the last memory they had before the town was eaten alive from the inside out. Most of them, anyway. Some were less fortunate. You thought the Scourge did this? The Scourge did not yet exist. And if they had, we would have all at least put up a damned fight. No, this was the result of a plague that came out of Scholomance and ravaged the town. It was horrifying and devastating. None survived. Now leave me to my sorrows. Do you have a candle? Give you a pack of smokes. When the courier is running late, sometimes you must take matters into your own hands. It is a tobacco-filled candle. Alright, float on back to the fountain here. You remember Sammy from the start? You seen my dolly? Yeah. Well, look at that. To my bestest friend from Pamela Redpath, presumably. It's a ghost warding candle. Supposedly keeps the ghost away, but that's just a child's story. Over here you have Joseph Dirt, the waste management. Perhaps you should speak into these sound-enhancing devices attached to my fists of fury. Give him some water, and take his stinky candle. Perfect for days where you want everyone to leave you alone. And last but not least, near the entrance, you have Magistrate Marduk. Some were spared the anguish that memories provide. Tell me about the Cult of the Damned. The Cult of the Damned has grown large in scope. Nearly every city, from the capitals to the small hamlets and hovels of both the Horde and the Alliance, have cult members hidden amongst their citizenry. Do not look surprised. The cult only wears a uniform for ritual and ceremony. It is quite possible that you have interacted with one in your adventures, not even known. Impossible. Is it? This has always been their method of operation. What is of greater value to Kel'Thuzad and the ever-growing Scourge army? A zealous, living follower that can work their way into society and then unleash a plague, destroying thousands, or a single undead trooper? Certainly, you cannot be that dense. Yes, human. They live, work, and plot among you. Well, that's disheartening. Is there anything I can do to stop it? Stop? No. Slow down? Maybe. The Scholomance is their primary source of training and education. It is from there that the cult members fan out and ultimately make their way into our societies. That is why we must strike at the source, the very heart of the Cult of the Damned, who I need to kill. Slow down, human. The one you need to kill is already dead. Killing him again will serve no purpose. There are very few ways in which a lich can be destroyed, and none of those means are available to you and I. That is why I have a plan that will have a very noticeable and real impact on the cult. What is the plan? It's very simple, really. Rob the lich Ras Frostwhisper of his powers, return him to his mortal form, and then slay him, once and for all. Who is that? Ras Frostwhisper is the overseer of the school, responsible for all the training of its dark masters, a lieutenant and favored pupil of Kel'Thuzad. He was a hedge mage of Stromgarde, rogue wizard that never received his formal training from Dalaran. When Kel'Thuzad opened the cult, Ras was among the first to join his ranks. Ras knew that through dark magic, he could find immortality. And find it he did. It's interesting he's talking about Ras Frostwhisper, because that boss is not even in the instance anymore. As you can see, back in the Cataclysm, Pandaria eras, Blizzard got in the habit of chopping up old dungeons to make them better and faster for leveling, right? And so we have a condensed version of Scholomance now, without Ras Frostwhisper in it. It's kind of cool. Little history for you. So at this point we have our 5 candles. We've got to go back in the instance and get a couple things here. Now, we focused on needing to be on heroic earlier in the video. That is no longer true. Anytime you're going to enter these instances later, it works on normal, which I recommend, because the things that will drop on normal mode are old world materials that you might use for these crafting recipes, whereas we don't need Pandaria materials. They can drop Essence of Undeath, they can drop Dark Runes.
I can never die.
And you get a different set of transmogs from it too. So we're actually headed to the end of the instance again. We're gonna go back to where we met Eva. So we're back at the end here with our friend Dark Master Gandling. Just in case, I'm told you can do the first part with the bag toy on normal mode too. So we're going back into this south room where we first met Eva. Now you'll see we have Eva's Femur. Probably not what Eva was expecting you to use for the ritual, but it gets the job done. And this one's, again, hidden in a really crazy place, so you want to come back to the viewing room And then on the right side, there's these bookshelves that have actually been tipped away from the wall slightly. Yes, it's that detailed. Tipped away from the wall slightly, and you want to go in here. And this book, you cannot select from outside. You have to go behind the bookshelf to find it. Use. Perform a ritual. A detailed recollection of increasingly horrific events. Many pages remain blank. Oh good, there's a page for me to write my own horrific event. So you can see it's got a cool spell effect, and it says we have to be somewhere quiet and care to row. So you want to leave Scholomance, and then you actually come to this creepy looking room here. Let's do a dark ritual. And there it is, the memory of Scholomance. Battered covers of this enchanted journal open upon your approach. Let's read the grim history of Scholomance, shall we? Yo, is this what I think it is? It's the same map, but yeah, this is the old Scholomance, the one before they cut up the map. You can actually jump down here, I'm pretty sure. Let's check this out. Now it's really cool. You can see the map doesn't match. And listen to those old sound effects. We're getting some really old items here. Look at the item IDs, 9935, 9907, and this weapon enchant that's been removed from the game. And I was thinking, yep. If we can get a Blood of the Innocents, we can do that old boss that's been removed from the game. Oh, remember when Scholomance had dragons in it? Now, Mr. Rattlegore here gives us a viewing room key. Something we'll need. Now, back in the day, you know, when they had better dungeon design, you couldn't go through here without the viewing room key. You just, you go get the key and then you open the door. It's nice, right? Now here's an interesting piece of dialogue that you might have forgotten. We must focus if we are to spawn our dragonflight. You see, they were trying to spawn plague, necromancy, undead, gross, evil dragons for some reason. You know, not that that would be relevant to this expansion or anything. Now, the next step on our journey is there should be a cracked Argent Dawn commission here that you will need to grab, and then you go back and you turn that into the Plague Lands, and they give you an old school trinket that allows you to collect Scourgestones. But if you're like me and you played the game for 100 years and you're a nerd, so you kept everything that was cool, you might just already have it. So now, this old buff seems to be working. People are still figuring out where it works, but Scholomance is where it works, and it's probably gonna work in all of the unlocked instances, because I'm guessing this isn't even the only one that they've done. It can't be, right? So pretty cool. You can go and, yeah, this is the old Scholomance, and we're gonna get some Scourgestones. And remember, at the start we were talking about the lore of Ras Frostwhisper. There he was. And so you can see here the end boss room is back to its old state. Hey, it's the doctor. We're collecting some transmogs that we were missing from back in the day. And so, by clearing all those end bosses, we get Gandling. Now I hope I've done this correctly. So by killing Gandling with the Argent Dawn commission, you can get this Scourgestone. There it is. And some transmogs that I don't have credit for. The really frustrating thing is, I had all of these items from old Scholomance, but transmog didn't exist then. You didn't get credit for any of this, so I'm recollecting all these items 20 years later. Scourgestone in your hand feels as real as everything else in this memory. It chills your very bones as it rests in the palm of your hand. While it may be a relic of a past time, the Argent Dawn should nonetheless be made aware of its existence. The ritual conducted upon Eva's journal may have had greater consequences than either of you anticipated. Find someone interested in the Scourgestone, and you will get the old school Scourgestones and Valor tokens. That's so cool. So next up, we're going to go turn this in the Eastern Plague Lands, and then we're going to go visit another older dungeon. And so as you can see, we go all the way back to Light's Hope Chapel in the Eastern Plague Lands, and we can find this guy, Duke Nicholas Zveronov. A Scourgestone? I don't understand. How did you ever find this, after all we've done here and upon Northrend? No, it doesn't matter. I will take it off your hands and ensure its destruction. Surely, this is one of the last in existence. Surely. If it happens that you find other like this, bring them to me as well. I hope, for all our sakes, this is the last we ever speak of this. I have a feeling it won't be. And so, after doing this, you will see there is now archived crafting techniques. So now, next up, nothing's telling us to do this. This is just kind of from the secret finding guide that I'm following. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna head to Stratholme. Good old Stratholme. So we'll see you there. Alright, good old Stratholme. Now, we like farming Stratholme because it's got the materials that we'll need for some of these recipes we're gonna learn. So far, it doesn't look like I'm getting the Scourgestones here, so it might only be the old Scholomance. Now we're kind of just aimlessly around, just killing stuff. We want to find an Eye of Naxxramas. That's what we're looking for. The invisible guys, unfortunately. There we go. So Eye of Naxxramas, we killed him. He dropped a Ward of Naxxramas. This one's sparkling, so it should have holy water in it. Yep. Now you'll actually want to grab more than one, just in case for this step as well. Future steps need some as well, I hear. Next, we're gonna go over to the live side in Crusader Square, and we're gonna crush this ward over there. Oh, I guess you can find a ward of Naxxramas here as well. Well, picking up a righteous orb. That's like a free... that says 600 gold, but I'm willing to bet the price is going to go up as people figure out how to do what we're doing here. So what happens if we break this ward here? We get true sight. We are able to see what was never meant to be seen. We have like a portal crystal here. And so this sort of explains the lore, I guess, of how the Dreadlords came out to turn all of the remaining Scarlets undead during the Cataclysm, because in vanilla, the Scarlet Crusade here were very much alive. Anyway, what you want to do is you want to take your holy water and destroy it. Now we're ready for the next step. As the hand of Naxxramas burns into a pile of ash, it is clear that recent events have escalated such that someone should be made aware of them. So they're subtly changing the events of what happened here, right? This is technically timey-wimey business. So the way this is supposed to work is the hand of Naxxramas spawns and you have 5 minutes to rush through all this and get to the end and catch him. But if you fail to do so, you still can go fly to Light's Hope Chapel and complete the quest. So that's what I did, right? I just kind of moseyed around. I didn't chase the ghost. I've seen a lot of people obsess about chasing him down and how hard it is. You don't have to do that. You can just fail and leave. And once you've done this, you can't even get the Ward of Naxxramas anymore, so... you know, don't worry about it. If you can't catch him, chase him if you want, or don't. I certainly didn't. Alright, so apparently I did fail the event by leaving the instance. Now, after you do that, these NPCs, if you've done these quests, will normally be in Light's Hope. I haven't done the quests, apparently, on this character, so they're over here. But you find Archmage Angela dos Santos. And you talk to her and you tell her some stuff, and then she'll give you this quest. You must be exalted with the Argent Dawn. Allows you to discover stuff in Naxxramas. You'll feel a slight tingle once it's complete. There we go. Alrighty, and with that we've unlocked the additional drops in Naxx. Now, this isn't all there is to do, because once we get to Naxx, it's also full of secrets, but this is enough to get you started on the new stuff. So after that, I did want to kind of float over back to the vendor here and take a look, because I have some of these Scourgestones. There we go. And you could turn them in right here. So it looks like you gotta kill 10 dungeon bosses for a Scourgestone, or I imagine it's 1 raid boss for a Scourgestone. The good news is this is account-wide as well. So now all of my characters on my account can go farm Naxx for some of those old lost recipes. It's pretty sweet. If you've enjoyed this little adventure in secret finding, remember to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and we'll see you next time. This has been Crafting for Dummies. Again, my name is Darkscream. Peace.